Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi, and you're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Carey Conley. She's nationally recognized speaker, author, entrepreneur, and mom. Welcome to the show, Carey.
Thank you, Gigi. You can also add grandma to that.
And grandmother.
I am.
I love it. Now, can you start off by telling us a little bit more about you and where are you from? And we are now where your grandmother.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Colorado. I was not born there, but raised there and raised my kids there and became an entrepreneur almost 30 years ago so that I could, stay home, raise my kids, just have the whole dream life. And about 8 years ago, I decided to step into speaking and coaching specifically on the area that I'm passionate about, which is vision, and why you need to have a very crystal clear leap off the page, big vision for your life, because most people are drifting, and that's kind of a scary thing for me. And I started creating my own workshops. I launched my first book in 2015 called Vision is Victory. And unfortunately, along the journey, 8 years ago, almost, I lost my husband to suicide. And then 3 years later, I lost my son to suicide as well. He was 26 years old. And so during that time, I was doing a lot of speaking and coaching about vision. And my daughter, who is now almost 28, she and I decided to write a book together called Keep Looking Up so that we could share our story and talk to people more about why we are so passionate about having a vision for your life, because without it, most people just lose hope. So I still speak, I coach, I do a lot of podcasts like this. I speak with my daughter sometimes, just all the things, just wanting to help people really understand that they have a purpose and that they matter.
Very powerful. Now, you shared your story in regards to your husband and your son committing suicide. Walk us through the healing process that you and your daughter took.
That's an interesting story, because it came in waves. First, there was my husband, and then there was my son. And so when we lost my husband, of course, my son was still alive. So it was the three of us walking through that together. And there were a lot of changes happening in our life at that point. My son had just graduated from college and had gotten a job in Arizona, which again, we're from Colorado. So he was starting his life there. And my daughter was still in college in Oklahoma. So it was just so much happening so fast, Gigi, that we had to just deal. So got my son to Arizona. I moved there part-time, got my daughter back to college, and we came together as a family as often as we could. Each of us, following our own path. And then when we lost my son, my daughter and I kind of took some time off, to be honest with you. We took a year to kind of figure things out. She had just gotten engaged and got married a year later. And so she was starting her life. And we became super close and we talked a lot. And what we realized that we could help each other, but there were different paths we had to take, different walks we had to take. My daughter went into counseling and got some great help from that. I really went within and spent a lot of time in quiet time, reading devotionals, journaling, just seeking out people that could give me some spiritual direction as to why this was happening and what was happening. And so we both came together, but we also had our own path to follow. And that's a lot of what we talk about in our book, Keep Looking Up. We talk about our different perspectives and how we dealt with it. So it's always a journey. Now we're 4.5 years out from losing my son and still working through things, but, just living our lives and still now very, very focused in this walk on helping other people as much as possible.
Very powerful. Now, you talk about one of your books, Keep Looking Up. Tell us a little bit more about one of your other books, Vision is Victory.
So this was my step into the speaking and coaching world when I decided that I wanted to start doing workshops and start doing coaching, helping people with their vision. I created my own curriculum, Gigi. So I created a whole workshop around first explaining to people why they need to have a written, clear vision for their life, because most people don't know how big of a deal that is. The second part of it is helping them get it on paper like they've never written it before. And then the third part is, how do you take a big vision and break it down into bite-sized goals that you can actually execute every day? So out of those workshops, I wrote Vision is Victory, the workbook. So it's the same curriculum that I still use today, pretty much.
I love it. Now, tell us a little bit more about some of the movements that you are a part of.
Yeah. So many movements. Vision Driven Life is a movement, a Facebook group that my daughter and I formed together. And we interact in the group on a regular basis. So it's kind of our community to touch base with people, give them some value, give them some direction with their vision if they're feeling a little lost. Do It on Purpose was a mission that we created 3 years ago because we wanted to really reach into the young adult community. I don't know if you know this. I'm sure you do. And I'm sure your listeners do too, that there is a huge percentage of young adults and even younger that are really, really drifting through life. So we wanted to create a movement and a mission to help them understand how to do their life on purpose. So last year, my daughter and I walked a couple of handfuls of young adults through a program we called Vision is Victory, Viva, and started talking to them about the movement, Do It on Purpose. So lots of different ways that we're getting the mission and the message out. Keep looking up Vision is Victory, Do It on Purpose, all the things to reach all the people.
I love it. Very powerful. Now, tell us a little bit more about what gives you the most joy.
Besides spending time with my family and my crazy grandson, who is just like the joy of my life right now. I love speaking. I absolutely love being in front of an audience and talking to them about life and about why having a vision matters and how to write their vision on paper, because I love that connection. I love seeing people have aha moments where I can see literally light bulbs going off. And I absolutely love when people have breakthroughs, where you just know that you have really hit them in a place where you've helped them make a change to the core. So many motivational speakers, if you go to their events, they're going to make you feel, lifted up, and they're going to make you feel great. They're going to make you feel motivated for about 5 minutes after you walk out of the event. My goal is that people make some serious shifts to the core so that they walk out feeling really, really changed and really, really committed to following the next steps for their life.
I love it. Now, Carey, thank you for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. Where can the audience find you?
The best place is to go to my website. It's just careyconley.com. And if people want more information about how I'm helping people, the different ways that I bring them into some tools that I have, I've started sharing, and I shared this with you, a new tool I started using called ULA that helps people digitally put that dream life on paper. Beyond paper, on a digital platform and onto an app. Just email me at careyconley.com, and there are lots of places I can plug you in.
Fantastic. And you do have an upcoming workshop. Can you share that with the audience as well?
We do. We have a workshop on the 13th, which is January 13th, next Thursday. And it's called Design Your Life. And it's me and 6 other life and business coaches that are going to be pouring into this workshop to the people who are there on those 7 key areas of life and how to really craft that dream life that you want.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Carey at her workshop and also careyconley.com. And Carey, thank you again for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, Gigi.
You're welcome.